Hey guys, and welcome to a brand new video here on FPL Now. Today we're going to be going over my first draft for the 2022-23 season. Of course, it is early days. My draft is going to be changing a lot going up to the first game week 1 deadline. But if you're excited for the video, drop a like down below. Let me know what your team's looking like for your first draft. Subscribe if you're brand new, and let's get into the video. So, starting things off in goal, I've gone with Mendy. He's 5 mil this year. Everton away for the first fixture. A lot of people are going with Mendy, but there are a few other really good options as well. You got Raya for Brentford, who's 4.5. Henderson, who's playing for Forest, he's only 4.5. Another player, Pickford, as well, only 4.5. If Pickford, regains that form that he has for England, then I think Pickford could be a very, very good shout. But yeah, I have got Mendy in goal. Everton away. The fixtures aren't that bad either for the first few at all, so I'm okay with having Mendy in goal. He's got Everton. Tottenham at home is a tough one, but then Leeds away, Leicester at home, Southampton, West Ham and Fulham. And then even after that, Liverpool at home, but then he's got Crystal Palace, Wolves, Villa, Brentford. I just think Chelsea have a really, really nice opening 15 fixtures, barring that Liverpool game. So yeah, I'm okay with having Mendy in, but again, if I need that extra 0.5 somewhere else in the team later on down the line, I probably will get rid of him for a Pickford, a Raya, a Henderson, someone like that instead. But that's my goalkeeper. My back five is Alexander-Arnold. We've gone for James, Cancelo, Justin, and Tomiyasu as well. Now, of course, the defenders this year are kind of all over the place. There's some really nice 4.5 mil options, like Ben White is also a 4.5 mil player. I think Vestergaard for Leicester's a 4 mil player, so if he gets a lot of game time, then he could be a really good option. I feel like I had to go Trent, James, and Cancelo, but there could be a lot of changes to that as well. Chilwell is back now. Robertson, I guess, is a good option if you don't want to go for Trent. And as well as that, Cancelo's 7 this year, but, if City do sign Cucurella, then he's going to be a really, really good option. I think he's only like 5 mil or something like that. So he'd be a really, really nice option in that defense that I'd probably bring in for somebody like Justin, because double City defense would be really nice, especially if Cucurella gets constant game time as well. So we'll have to wait and see how transfers go. And again, that is why the first game week 1 draft changes so much, because we're still in transfer season. A lot of players are still coming in, going out. Sterling still apparently going to Chelsea. Ronaldo wants to leave United. A lot of things can still happen. But that's my back five at the moment for game week 1. Some nice fixtures there. Trent with Fulham away, James, Everton away. That double Chelsea defense first game week, a little bit iffy about that, because you never know how a team's going to hit the ground running at the start of a season. But yeah, Cancelo, West Ham away, also not great, but then they've got some nice fixtures after that. Justin is just, 4.5. I really enjoyed having him a few seasons ago, but again, that could easily change. And Tomiyasu as well, if he's a definite starter, then, he's a really good option. But of course, if he's not going to, Ben White is right there as well. Ben White's just a little bit boring, though, because he's just playing as a centre-back. He doesn't really get anything. It's a clean sheet or nothing. Doesn't really score goals, doesn't get assists. So yeah, if he's not going to get that clean sheet, then not the greatest player to have. But only 4.5. We'll see what happens there. I've kind of just gone all out in midfield, to be fair. Salah, Son, Luis Diaz, and Saka. I think Luis Diaz is a really, really nice option this year with Mane leaving. I think he's just going to be playing that left wing position, and it's just going to be his now. He obviously played really well last season, a really exciting player, hit the ground running in the Prem, and I honestly think that he's just going to be a really good option this year. He's only like 8 mil as well, so I don't know. I feel like having 3 Liverpool players is obviously going to be a thing this year. They've brought in a few players, they've lost a few players. It depends if you want to go double defense, double midfield, or obviously bring in their new striker as well. So yeah, the Liverpool players are definitely tough, but I have gone Salah captaincy. He always scores game week 1. I think he has in the last 4 or 5 seasons. Fulham away could be a little bit better, being Fulham at home and then them playing them at Anfield, but it is what it is. But I'm absolutely okay having Salah. 13 mil this season, though, to be expected. But again, the premiums this season are just, there's so many, and you just can't have them all. You can barely have any, to be fair. You can probably fit in 3, but obviously Son's 12 mil this season, Salah's 13. You want Haaland, who's 11.5, Kane's 11.5, Ronaldo's expensive. Who else is there? There's just, I don't know, there's just a ton of these premium players. De Bruyne as well, he's what, 12 mil or something like that. So yeah, you really can't fit them all in, and it's just one of those decisions where you have to decide which one you think is better. Again, you could go Son, you could go Kane this season, you could go Haaland instead. It is really just how you're feeling. Do you trust Haaland that he's gonna take the Premier League by storm? Do you think he's going to need to adapt a little bit to it? He is obviously quite injury prone as well. That should never be a reason to not bring in a player, because obviously he's going to want to make an impact. He's going to want to, you know, show what he's got, and obviously show that he can do it in the Prem. But again, a lot of people fell for that trap with like Werner a couple seasons ago, where everyone brought him in because obviously he had a really good seasons in the Bundesliga, brought him in for Chelsea, and then he just didn't really do anything. And that, I don't want that to happen again, because I fell for that trap. But that's my midfield at the moment that I'll be playing. So Salah, Son, Luis Diaz, and then Saka as well. Saka's 8 mil this season, but that could easily be anyone else. That could be a Foden, could be a Bowen. Grealish is only like 7 mil, but I don't know, I just don't think he's going to get enough game time. But yeah, the amount of players around that 8 mil price range, again, is another really big decision. Not only the premiums difficult to decide between, but that 8 mil slot as well, also very, very difficult, because you also got like Luis Diaz as well, who's 8 mil. So yeah, it honestly depends how you're feeling. But you know, Saka might still be on penalties with the introduction of Jesus. He might take them. But at the same time, it just depends how it kind of all unfolds. And then up top, I've got Johnson. As a Forest fan, I feel like I had to bring in one of them, and either Johnson or the new striker that we've just brought in. I don't really know who's going to be on penalties. Johnson did take them, but I'm not sure if the new striker is going to be on penalties now. Really don't know, but I've just gone with Johnson, but that could really be anyone. I mean, I've not really gone a lot up front at all. Like, all my money's been pumped into midfield and defense. There's just not that many good striking options this season at all, barring like Harry Kane and Haaland. Like, they're either really expensive or they go down to like 6 mil, 5.5 mil. There's a couple other players as well, like Jesus. Calvert-Lewin's still 8 mil as well for whatever reason. I don't know why. He surely should have got a price drop after last season, but he didn't. But yeah, there's not a lot of really good striking options this week. But I think Johnson will do well. You know, he proved himself last season. Obviously, we had some really good games against Premier League teams last season. Arsenal, Leicester. Obviously went toe-to-toe with Liverpool and just lost 1-0, which was really unfortunate in the FA Cup. But I don't know. I feel like Johnson could definitely have his way with the Prem this season, but that's who I've kind of gone with at the moment. But again, that could easily change to a different 6 mil striker. There's also a lot of people bringing in like Forest 4.5 mil striker as well. He's not going to get the game time. But obviously, we've got Surridge as well, who's 5 mil. He's probably going to come on for like 10-15 minutes at the end of every single game. That's kind of what happened last season in the Championship. We kind of just brought him on like the 75th, 80th minute, and took off like Davies and stuff like that. So yeah, I don't think you should be really thinking of bringing in Surridge. He's honestly such a clinical finisher, but I just don't think he's going to get enough game time to warrant that 5 mil price. I'd much rather pay an extra mil to get Johnson, who potentially could be on penalties. It's annoying that he's a forward, but it just is how it is. And then on the bench, I've got Forster, who obviously is a Tottenham player. Again, that could easily change to any 4 mil goalkeeper if I did want to bring in another Spurs player, because there is like Perisic as well, who I also really want to bring in. Again, this is very early days. This team will change so much. I might even get rid of Reece James if I do keep Mendy, but again, Reece James, we saw how good he was last season. All depends on different situations. But also got Edouard as well. I think he's a decent shout. He's cheap. He should get a few games every now and again. I don't think he's a terrible shout. And then Colback as well, 4.5 midfielder. He should play. He did play a lot of games last season, so I don't think he's going to lose his spot. And only 4.5 mil, that's not bad at all for the bench. And then also I've gone Greenwood as well. Greenwood could play, you know, Rafinha. If he goes to Barca, Chelsea, wherever, he might start playing more. Of course, Patrick Bamford should be back now this season, after obviously the massive long injury spell that he had last season. So I mean, Greenwood, he could be an option, but again, this is kind of what I've gone with. I mean, I could easily change Edouard or Johnson to a Kane and then drop Son down to someone else. Like Neto is another player that a lot of people are bringing in. I'm not hugely convinced by him. His numbers, his XG was quite good, but he's only scored like 9 goals in like 70 odd Premier League games or something. So 5.5 is a really nice option for him, but again, I don't think he's really done anything to warrant me. I don't really want to take any massive gambles at the start of this season. I've kind of just gone with a team that, you know, that should do well. I guess the only gamble I've gone with is Johnson, but again, he could be on penalties and stuff, but we'll have to see what happens there. But all these other players, I guess, are proven, so I'm not really too worried about them. I'm sure Luis Diaz, I think, is going to be one of the best FPL assets this season, coming in at only 8 mil. I think he's just like a cheaper Mane, to be fair. I just think that he's just such a good option to have this season, and Fulham away first game, I think is just a given. But either way, that's kind of what my Game Week 1 team is looking like as of right now. This will definitely 100% change. Again, my keeper might change, which give me a little bit more money for like a striker or something. Again, I could change from Son to Kane, which I potentially might do. But again, I don't know who I drop there instead, like maybe Neto, someone like that. And again, I could get rid of Reece James, Cucurella could come in. It all depends. It all depends on transfer, stuff like that. But I'll probably be making a few other drafts as well. I'll probably be making drafts around Haaland, drafts around Kane, drafts around Salah, probably drafts around loads of different premium players. Going to be loads of content coming up until the Game Week 1 deadline, so don't worry about that. But thank you guys so much for watching. If you did enjoy, make sure to drop a like down below. Let's try and hit 50 likes. Subscribe if you're brand new. Again, leave a comment. Let me know what your team is looking like. Does it look similar to this? Let me know your options. Let me know your reasoning behind them. But yeah, thank you for watching. Have a fantastic rest of your day. And until next time, peace.